walk into that rehearsal dinner and see the woman who destroyed me. My hand started shaking too, but from anger, not sadness. Renee must have seen my face change because she grabbed my arm and shook her head so hard her earrings rattled. She tried to explain that yes, at first she just wanted to show up with someone impressive to make Sasha jealous for once in her life. But then everything changed when she actually got to know me. The coffee she brought me every morning, the soup when I was sick, the way she cried at the cake tasting, none of that was fake. Her voice cracked as she talked about how Sasha always got everything first. Better grades even though Renee studied harder. The lead in every school play while Renee worked backstage. The promotion at their grandmother's company that Renee had been promised. When Sasha announced her engagement at Thanksgiving, their mom literally turned to Renee and asked why she couldn't be more like her cousin. I walked to the kitchen because I needed to do something with my hands before I punched a wall. My body went through the motions of making coffee without thinking about it. 2 scoops of grounds, water to the 4-cup line, then I reached for the oat milk without even realizing I was making her drink, not mine. Extra shot of espresso, no sugar, exactly how she liked it. My hands shook as I poured, and I had to admit to myself that I'd memorized every little thing about her without meaning to. She followed me to the kitchen and pulled up her text messages to show me dozens of unsent drafts from weeks ago. Each one started with her trying to tell me the truth about Sasha. The timestamps showed she'd written them at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, right after our family dinners. But she never sent them because every time I mentioned my ex, my whole face would change and she couldn't stand being the one to hurt me like that again. The anger came rushing back, and I slammed the coffee mug down so hard that liquid splashed onto the counter. She knew I'd walk into that room and see them together. She knew what that would do to me after everything I'd told her about the betrayal. Nathan's toy dinosaur sat on my coffee table where he'd left it last week when they'd stopped by after his swimming lesson. Seeing it made everything worse because her whole family had become part of my life and now it was all built on lies. Renee completely fell apart then, sliding down the kitchen cabinet until she sat on my floor sobbing. She kept saying she'd tried to prepare me by bringing up my ex in conversations to see if I was ready to face her. She thought she could somehow make it easier, but she was too scared to just tell the truth. Her whole body shook as she admitted she'd fallen for me and ruined everything because she was a coward. My phone started buzzing on the counter with text after text. What's really going through Renee's mind when she picks this specific guy for her scheme? She calls him tall and handsome, but there's something deliberate about choosing someone who only spoke to people about code. Makes me wonder if she wanted someone she thought wouldn't get too attached or ask too many questions about her real motives. Marcus asking if I was okay and saying they were worried about me. Elena saying Renee had left the dinner crying and nobody knew where either of us went. Even little Nathan had sent a voice message that his mom helped him record, asking where Uncle Alan was and why Aunt Renee was so sad. Each message made my chest hurt more because these people had become real family to me over the past 2 months. I sat down on the kitchen floor across from her because my legs felt too heavy to keep standing. The wedding would start in 9 hours and I had no idea what to do about any of this. She looked up at me with red swollen eyes and said I should choose what happens next and she'd accept whatever I decided. The clock on my microwave showed 4:47 a.m. and we sat there on my kitchen floor in silence while the coffee maker gurgled and dripped behind us. She finally pushed herself up from my kitchen floor and started laying out options while pacing around my tiny apartment. Option 1 was I could come to the wedding and we'd stick to the contract like nothing changed, pure business. She'd even pay me extra on top of the 1,000 we agreed on, and after today she'd never bother me again if that's what I wanted. Option 2 was I could stay home and she'd tell everyone we broke up, make up some story about how I wasn't ready for commitment or whatever would make her family stop asking questions. I watched her hands shake as she gripped the counter and asked what option 3 was even though I wasn't sure why I was asking. Her whole body went still and she turned to look at me with this expression I'd never seen before. Option 3 was we could go to this wedding together not as fake anything but as whatever